Hi, welcome to another lesson in this tutorial series about creating virtual reality applications for the Oculus Rift using the Unreal Engine. In this particular video, I'll be using 4.7.6 of the Unreal Engine. 4.8.2 is already out, but I'm using it 4.7 because the other videos I made is also using 4.7. So in order to stay consistent, 4.7.6 I'll be launching. I already logged in as MakeLab, and I'm going to launch my 4.7.6 Unreal Editor. All right, when you first do that, here's a project. This is a project I made before. I'm going to press the tab New Project, and I'm going to click First Person. This one here. It's a blueprint, and I'm going to name it our lesson, whatever. Just give it a name. Leave these things at their default, and press Create Project. All right, here we have it. This is the view you get when you first open Unreal Engine with the default first-person template. First of all, try and navigate inside this scene. So hover your mouse over this scene here and use the middle mouse button to zoom out and zoom in. That's pretty easy. So if you hold the middle mouse button, you can pan. This is called panning. Just hold it and then drag the mouse. Pan. And if you press the right mouse button, you can rotate. And there's another one. You need to know, if you hold the right mouse button pressed and you press the W and the S key, you can move around. It's like a real shooter, first-person shooter game. A and D, you can go strafe. It's called strafing in gaming terms, but you move to the left and to the right. And there's another one, Q and E. You go down and E go up. So Q is down. So that's how you can navigate inside this scene. As you can see here, inside the scene, there's several objects that are preloaded on this first-person template. One of them is the camera. I can click it with my left mouse button. I can, as part of a, as you can see, the arms here and the shotgun that it's holding. It's part of this assembly here. Let me see if I can show it. So I drag this window like that. You can do a window management just like you want to. I'm just going to give it a bit more space. So this first person character, I can double click it and then it zooms in on, well, zooms out actually on this first person character. But I can also click, let me see, this cube here. That's a large cube. I can double click that one and then it focuses on this object, in this case the large cube. So what other thing I want to zoom in? Cube 0, 1. Which one is that? I double click. That means it's this cube. All right. On the right you see the world outliner. And I can click on these triangles here to make it a bit more clear about what is happening here. So for the lighting, they have a directional light, stationary, etc. This causes the light in the scene, and as you can see here, there's a lot of light coming from that thing that gives the scene the light. Directional light, stationary. It's that one there. And all right, arena geometry. Let's click the big wall. That means it's this one here. So just to show you how you can navigate around inside the world outliner. Everything is an object inside Unreal Engine, and you can put objects inside other objects or inside other directories. So I'm going to show you that how that works later on in this video. So for now, I'm going to make a bit more space here so I can see all this stuff here. and the content browser is viewable, and I've got it like that. So I like this setup in order to work with Unreal. So like this, and there's this flashy thing here. When you first open Unreal Engine, you get this. It's meant as a helper, as a tutorial. You can click it. I'm doing that right now, but I don't want to do the tutorial that they have set up. I'm just going to click more options here and then press exit. All right, so why do I show you this? Because the fun thing about Unreal Engine is that you can just, this template, you can just execute it as well. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. If you drag this window all the way to the right, you get more buttons here. What I want to press is this play button. I'm just going to press it now. And if I move the mouse inside that window and hold the right mouse button, I can look around. W and S, I can forward, backward, A and D strafe, and the left mouse button, I'm going to shoot. So it's a physics engine you can see at work here that makes it possible for for me to shoot the cubes. The big cubes those cubes are big in the sense of a lot of mass, so they won't move that much, but if you look at them closely, you'll see they move a little bit. So I hope that I get this sound right. Okay, I'm gonna press the escape key to get out of this mode. In order to get more space to view stuff like this world outliner, you also have these buttons here, and if you don't see them, you can press this little these two arrows here, and then you get the rest of this the play button as well. All right, I have to tell you something about the play options, because at the moment I don't have a Oculus Rift attached, but if I would have it attached, I could have pressed this VR preview, this number here, not the number, this text here, and if I would press it, it would emulate, it would at that moment show the scene in 3D on your Oculus Rift. Okay, so that's why I can focus on creating content with Unreal Engine, because the Unreal Engine already has this VR preview already available. It's built in from, I think it's from 4.7 or maybe 4.6, at least 4. Unreal Engine 4 has this virtual reality preview, and you could be able, you're able to download the Oculus Rift drivers to get a more up-to-date driver for your Oculus Rift. That would, you could be doing that, but it's not necessary. So okay, let's build something. All right, we already have something here, as you can see. What I want to do is create I just showed you how that works. I'm going to create a new level, because this is a level you have at the moment. I can press new level, and I'm going to click the default here. So now it's a completely empty level. And if you press play, you have the control. Yeah, it's an empty level. So this press escape to get out of this mode, and I'm going to show how the landscape editor works. So I press on the left here on the modes, I'm going to press the landscape, and here we have another one of these tutorial things. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to press this icon here and then press exit. I don't want it at the moment. I'm going to show you how you can do this. Okay, so new landscape. It already made a grid, so you can see how big. I'm using my right mouse button and Q and E to go up and down. You can see how big the landscape it is creating will become, and it already asks here for material. And it says none here at the moment, but we're gonna change that. I want to put some grass in there. And in order to get grass material, I'm going to go to starter content here. If you don't see it, content, in the content browser, I'm going to go to starter content. You can also move these windows, as you can see here. I just dragged it all the way there, but I can click this tab and move it all the way down here. So now it's here again. This is the default position of it. And I can also change the view options And I can set the scale of the thumbnails to very small or very big. And I can view type of tiles. I want to have a list or maybe columns. That's it. So now I used view options and set it to columns. I get this display here, and I got starter content. And I'm going to filter on, I can type here in this area, I can type grass. And this is strange. Why does it do this? I'm just gonna view options, put it back to list. I don't know why it made this strange thing here, but I'm going to use M ground grass. This is also a material. This material I'm gonna left click and drag inside this material slot here. And when I'm over the material, over the square here, I'm gonna release my left mouse button, and then it's going to, at the right here, compile shaders. It needs to do that, and you have to wait for this to complete, and when it's complete you're gonna see what it did. So I'm going to create a new landscape made entirely of grass. So as you can see here, you can see the material it is made of, and you can tweak your settings here, but I'm just gonna leave it at the default, and then I'm gonna press create. Here we have it. So let's go to our start position, the untitled. Where is my player start? I'm gonna double click player start. There we go. And now I'm already in sculpt mode. So this is what it does after you created your first landscape. You enter the sculpt mode, and this is a nice mode to start because I can just, you can see the circle here and the highlights. I can just drag. Whoa, that was too much. I can press Ctrl Z to go back, because what I want to do is not, this is the spawn area, so I don't want to mess with that. I'm zooming out with my middle mouse button, and I'm gonna create some mountains here. And let me just, I'm using the right mouse button to zoom out. And here we go. I'm gonna create here, let's put it a very large mountain like that. Okay, so this is how you can sculpt your world, and you can also create other. So what it does here is when I press the Shift key, it flattens. So if you left mouse button, it grows, but you can also press the Shift left mouse and then it flattens. So I can flatten this piece here. See how it shrinks? So this is how I can edit and re-edit and make it just the way I want it to. So, but this is only a grass scene. I also want to paint. So I press paint, and in that case, I can look at that here. No, I won't paint. I'm going to use foliage, the button here. Sorry about that. There's another of these introduction tutorials. I'm gonna click it and then press exit. I don't want it now. So I've got, I press this foliage button here, and then it says paint, brush size. And what does it paint? It says drop static meshes here. Okay, let's find a nice static mesh I want to paint with. So I'm pressing starter content on the triangle here and open it up. And I'm gonna see what has it. No, I'm gonna get rid of this filter by pressing the X. Now I've got my shape cylinder. Let me just double click that, and then you see the cylinder. Okay, let's put cylinders in there. So as you can see, it opens shape cylinder. I can close it here with the X, and I can use my shape cylinder and drop it in my foliage mesh. And now it does some strange things with rendering, but that's okay, it'll resolve itself. But now I can drop these cylinders. And as you can see, I can also change the options here. So I can press the scale from 1 to 1. So I can put it at, okay, let's put it at 10. So now the big cylinders. Whoa, wow. Oh, look at that. It's going to become a very nice alien thing landscape. And yeah, let's start playing this. So I'm gonna press this button here and then press play. And here we have it. So it's telling me lightning needs to be rebuilt, but that's okay. It's just doing that while I'm doing this demo. So I built this landscape. I built these strange alien structures, and I'm gonna press escape. I told you, yeah, you can also change. Let me go up with press the right mouse button and then E, and then I get my lasso, and this is what I lassoed. I can also move them in space. So the lasso is difficult to see, but I selected some of these objects, and I can move them. So they are. Let me do that lasso thing again. Okay, here I've got my objects. I can move them up, and I can also. You can also the select and translate objects is selected. It's W. But you can also select and rotate. So I'm pressing that button now. I can rotate all these objects and put it like that. So now I made them a bit weird, but I can also scale them, and that's R as a shortcut. So this looks really weird now. It's like an alien cloud system. So yeah, I never know what I'll end up with when I'm playing with Unreal. But at the moment, if I press play now, you can see, yeah, it says lightning needs to be rebuilt. So the lighting is not perfect yet. But as you can see, what I did here is I just created an alien landscape in a couple of minutes, really. And don't forget, if you have an Oculus Rift attached, you can just use Play Options VR Preview. There's another thing you can do. If you have an Oculus Rift attached and all the drivers are installed and it works, you can press Launch, and when it does that, let me see. Standalone game. Here we go. I have to save the stuff, and when it starts to run, so now it's running the standalone game. It's called Our Lesson 2, and as you can see, I can just use the behavior of the template I used, and I want to show you a little trick. Next, left to the 1, the number 1 on your keyboard on the top left, there's a key, and you can't really see it here, but it opens up a console, and if you type stereo on, and you have an Oculus Rift attached, it will show the Oculus Rift view. And if you now press it again and you press stereo off, it'll remove that view. You get back to this view. So how do I get out of this? Quit, I think. Yes. So this is how you get out of this standalone mode. You just use the tilde key, the key next to the left to the 1. So underneath the escape key, and then press quit and then enter, and then you get out of that mode. And it remembers the play setting. So if I now have play options, I can see standalone game, but I don't want that. I want to have the mode at the selected viewport. That's this thing here. So now it runs inside this window here. And as you can see, now I press play, it's still the same. it uses this viewport. So it remembers your play setting, so don't forget that. Alright, so another thing I want to show you is, let me just go back to my player start, and it doesn't have a lot of light. So what I want to show you is that you are able to put some lighting in there. I'm going to press this place here, this cube here, and I'm going to go to a point light and then drag it in. Here we go, there's our point light. Now we have a nice point light. I can also change the name, like super light, whatever. It is a good practice to use to properly name your objects, because if you have a lot of objects, you'll get very confused about light 1, light 2, light 3. So I'm just gonna call it super light because it's it's one of my best lights I ever made. I'm just kidding, of course. And I want to get myself a color in there, and the light color now is white. So I'm in the right here. I can change the properties of this super light. I can change the color. I press this bar here, and I can change it to blue. Okay. And now I can also change the intensity. It's at 5000 now. You can change it by clicking it and then typing in the new number. But as you can see, you can also drag this value. Just try it and you'll see what happens, and then press enter. Because at the moment, there's a lot of blue light coming in. And let me add another element here for the architecture. I'm going to starter content architecture, and there's a pillar here I can add, and as you can see, the pillar is blue. It's not blue by itself, it's blue because there's a blue light. I can also get a wall inside there. I'm just dragging it and getting a bigger wall. It's a very big wall. I'm just gonna put it there. And a door. I want a door. Okay, I'm going to rotate the door and at -90 degrees, and then I'm gonna use this key here, or I can press the W as a shortcut in order to move it. I'm going to move it just like that, and I'm also going to get some particle effects in there. Click the particles, and I'm gonna put a fire in the corner here. So my machine is updating as we speak. It needs to have compiling shaders. If it needs to do stuff, tricky stuff, you'll see this symbol. You see this thing here, compiling shaders here, because it needs to calculate how this object will look like when you look at it in the scene view. So I'm just gonna wait for it to compile, because once it's compiled, you get a nice fire there. And I'm also going to put some smoke in. So while it's doing that, you can click the wall and move it just as you want. You can also move the wall. If you look at the wall closely, you see these squares here. If I press this square, it'll move the element you're dragging inside this plane being made up by this blue and green arrow. And here, if I just want to move it across the ground, I can use this square. And of course, there's this third option here. That's this one. I can just drag it up inside this plane. So that's how that works. As you can see here, there's not much fire going on, but if I press play and I move towards my area, you can see the fire going. Alright, so I've got a fire going. I can do a lot more. I can also put some smoke in. And if I look at the smoke, I'm just gonna drag it up, because the smoke, now I want to position the smoke exactly on top of the fire. So in order to do that properly, I can do this. I can go to this button here. It says perspective. I can go to orthographic top. Boom. And now I can use the right mouse button to drag myself around and zoom in and out. But what I want to do is the smoke and this fire. Smoke, here we have it, the fire and the smoke. So the smoke is this one. I can use this, like I said a couple of minutes ago, I can use this one here, this square, to position it straight on top of the fire. I can go back to perspective and check out my handiwork. So I can use this arrow to put it up, a lot more up, and let's put some sparks in there as well. I can also put that somewhere there, and as you can see, hey, oh, what's this? These are the sparks. These are not at the position I want them to, but I'm going to manually eyeball this. But you can do it very precisely using the top view, of course. But now, if I press play, so there's sparks going, fire going, and there's, oh, look at that amazing smoke particle system I put in there. I can also put a explosion in there, but the explosion will happen instantly, so I don't want that. Okay, so this is how you can build up your scene using props. Okay, let's put a chair in there. You can already build a rather decent simulation using all these objects, these lights and these particle systems and materials. Let's put a basic wall material. Let's put it on this. I'm dragging it from here to there. And if all is well, let's do this gold filter. I'm gonna filter gold, material gold. Let's put that gold material on the door frame here. So I'm dragging it and putting it onto that door frame here, and it says compiling shaders, and when that's done I can have a gold doorway. So you can use the materials folder to find the material you want it to look like. And now it's going to start off as blue gold. I think I'm gonna press play, and yes, it's gold, but it's on the back side. That's a nice example of how that works, because I've got my point light here and it washes out the yellow color of the gold because it's a blue light. But this is pure gold. As you can see, this material, you see the little dents in there, this is not actual geometry. It simulates these dents by using a normal map. And that's in one of my other lessons. I'm going to explain more about normal maps. But this one here, it looks like it's genuine gold plated stuff. And that's thanks to this normal map technique. It simulates pitches and hills and troughs, and it's very nice. So I love that about Unreal Engine. I'll press escape now, because you've got the starter content. There's so much stuff in there you can use. There's blueprints in there. There's too much detail for now, but also these shapes. You can go to textures. You can go to materials already, and you've got different maps and whatever. I'm going to show you one more thing before this video is finished, because now you can make a rather nice looking level for your virtual reality environment. You've got all the tools available, but you need to know one thing about blueprints. Blueprints are the stuff that makes something really interesting inside a game engine like Unreal Engine. The blueprints, I clicked it now, and I'm going to open the level blueprint. The level blueprint is every level. What we are working on also is a level. I should save it, by the way. So I'm pressing save, and this is a new map, but that's okay. I'm going to press save. So now every work I did here is saved, and I'm going to go to blueprints, open level blueprint. So and now you've got one of the nicest features of Unreal Engine, again, is this visual programming mode that is called blueprints. And in order to show how that works, it already has 2 elements in there, and this one says, rather interestingly, event begin play. So when you press play, this is fired. And when it's fired, this little triangle here, you can drag it out using your left mouse, drag it out, and it says place a new node. And when I let go of my left mouse button, there's a list of options, of executable actions it's called, that you can do. But I'm just going to type in print. I'm going to show you a very little easy to remember thing, and that's print string. So I double click that and it says print string. So when my game starts playing, I can this event is fired, and it triggers this function here, print string, to execute. And it says yeah, you can also parameterize this one, but I'm not going to do that. It already has this string here, hello. It says hello. You can change that, hello world. This is absolutely amazing. I'm just gonna make it big. I'm gonna use enter. Oh yeah, you can also zoom in and out of your event graph, and the right mouse button you can pan around. And I just made it so that when I start beginning to play, when I start to begin play, print string is gonna print hello world. This is absolutely amazing. So let's try that. Okay, play. And it says hello world. You didn't see it? Let's do that again. Press play, and then you see on the left, hello world. This is absolutely amazing. It only shows for a couple of minutes, but that's okay. I can press this triangle here to have more options. I can also change the text color. So let's change the text color to something really red. Try that again. And it says hello world. This is absolutely amazing. So this is how you can do that with blueprints. You also have one more thing, and that is play simulate. If you press play and then simulate, you'll see the flow of execution going. And this is really interesting about Unreal Engine, again, is that you can see what happens inside your blueprints. And you can also start debugging. So it remembers, like I said, it remembers your last mode of execution of play, and now it says start simulating the game again. I can press play, and you can see it fires off this event and it starts this print string. So yeah, this is just a really fast intro. It's like a hello world for using blueprints inside Unreal Engine. All right, so I can close this because it's already when you see the compile here, the tick here, it means it's compiled. You can close it, and here you have the world. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and yeah, I'll see you at the other videos.